Hey guys, how are you? Are you ready to make some soap? I'm ready. I'm going to be making a cold process soap today with Bentonite Clay. This is an awesome soap for your face because Bentonite Clay has a lot of great benefits for your skin, and I talk a little bit more about it in one of my other videos, so I will include it in the description below. This is also a great soap for washing your hands or for washing your body. Some people even use it for washing their hair. I don't like to use lye soap on my hair because my hair feels squeaky but don't feel clean, so I don't use the lye soap, but this could be a great soap if you're used to it and you use it on your hair all the time. The reason why I'm making it today is because you can also make a great shaving soap with Bentonite Clay, because Bentonite Clay adds this slippery feeling to the soap, and that's what you're looking for obviously when you're making shaving soap. So the general rule to add 1% of Bentonite Clay, and that's what I'm going to be doing today, but I do want to experiment a little bit more with adding more and more Bentonite Clay in my future videos, so stay tuned. However, today I'm going to keep it at 1% just so that I can keep the trays kind of thin and more manageable. Alright, let's get started. So I'm going to start with measuring the water, 55 grams of that. And then I'm going to measure my lye, which we're going to be using sodium hydroxide because we're making the bars of soap and not the liquid soap. And I'm going to need 36 grams of that. Now I'm going to pour the lye into the water, and not the other way around, because that helps us to prevent splashing and bubbling, and I usually do it slowly, a little bit at a time, for the same reason, so that we don't create a volcano or anything like that. It's more like a safety measure. And just give it a stir and set it aside. And next I'm going to measure the oils. I'm going to start with coconut oil, 100 grams of coconut oil. And I melted my coconut oil. And now I'm going to add 112 grams of olive oil. And 38 grams of castor oil. Give it a stir. Set it aside. At this time, I'm gonna measure the essential oils. 8 grams of lavender and 4 grams of lemon oil. The last thing I'm going to measure is the Bentonite Clay, and I'm going to use 4 grams today. Now I'm going to strain the lye solution so that I don't have any crystals undissolved in my water, because if you put that into your soap it can burn your skin later on, so I wanted to prevent that. And I'm going to add the clay into this lye solution. Clay is usually taking time to get dissolved in water, but in lye it didn't take so long. It actually was pretty quickly that it dissolved. And now I'm ready to pour the lye clay water solution into the oils. Make sure I got everything. Just gonna give it a stir with a spoon and then switch to a stick blender. And we just keep mixing until we have come to trace. It was very liquid and it was kind of splashing a lot, so when you guys do this, be careful. And of course, I didn't mention it earlier, always use the safety gear, the gloves, the glasses, and the respirator mask before you even mix your lye into the water and through the whole process. So I'm gonna just check to see if we got the trace. It's thickened a little bit. It's very thin still, but well, let's see. I don't want it to get too thick, so I'm kind of mixing it with a spoon here for a little while, and I'm gonna check for trace. Sometimes that's a good trick. If you don't want your soap to get too thick, you can just mix it with a spoon a little longer. But I'm just gonna go ahead and use the blender again. I think now it might be ready. I'm just gonna go ahead and add the essential oils to it. And mix it some more. Make sure we mix the essential oils in really well. And you can definitely see a trace now. And if you're not sure what trace is when you mix your soap and you see this, you know, when on top you see this kind of trace. I don't know what else to call it. So that means that it's a good time to pour it into the mold. And that's what I'm going to do right now. It's still nice and thin, but at the same time, it's definitely came to trace. And it's just the right amount. I don't like to keep big batches of soap, so I make smaller batches. If you wanted a bigger batch, you can just double the recipe and you will have the whole mold filled. All 6 cavities will be filled with soap. Just trying to even it out a little. It's always a good idea to give it a little tap to let the soap settle and be smooth. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on a heating pad for a few hours to help to saponify it faster. So this is what the soap looks like. Can you see it? 2 days later. It saponified pretty well. I kept it on a heating pad for 3 hours, and that really helped to saponify it. And it comes out pretty easily. Ooh, can you see? Comes out pretty easily. It is a little soft though still because it was a pretty thin trace. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cure it for about 4 to 6 weeks. But I tested it for pH and it is safe to use it right now, but it is really, really soft. So the best thing would be is just to cure it for 4 to 6 weeks. All right, let's go do the leather test. It leathers really well. It makes those creamy kind of bubbles, which is really great for the shaving soap. And it has this slightly slippery quality to it, which is also great for the shaving soap. And it has a lot of bubbles, which I usually like that. So I'm pretty happy with how the soap came out. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and if you would like to see more of my videos, subscribe to my channel. I hope you're doing well and staying healthy, and I hope to see you in the next video.